Hello and welcome to February 2023. Wanted to make a quick video for you to go over a book strategy, a book promotion strategy that I used that really generated a lot of income for me. What I want to focus on here specifically is the importance of how I use books in order to promote myself and put myself in front of people. So you've been getting this newsletter for quite some time now, and what I'm going to show you today is really something that I took away from newsletter marketing and using newsletters and sending out on a regular basis, and adapted that into book marketing in order to promote myself to my list. So understand that the audience that I'm going to be talking about as to who I reached was specifically my list, and I'll show you how I segmented it based on the strategy. First, though, let me go through and show you some of the things that I've done in the past with books that's kind of led up to what I'm going to show you today. So I'm sure that many of you are familiar with my flagship book, which is Your Patient Attraction Secret Weapon: How to Have a Referral-Driven Dental Practice and Never Advertise Again. This came out in 2015. This was actually my first solo book. I had been in a bunch of other books with other authors prior to that, including Dan Kennedy, Jerry Jones, and a bunch of people in the dental market specifically, or the dental industry specifically. But this book has really generated a lot of leads and a lot of business for me. And what I use this for is a lead generation tool where dentists or other industries will get this book, and it introduces to them and to my testimonial system. From that book, I then developed another book called The Ultimate Source of Dental Patients Hiding in Plain Sight. And this particular book was specifically geared towards dentists about using movie theater or theater advertising in order to get noticed and recognized. And this was, I published this probably about, let's see what it was, 2 years before the pandemic hit. And this did very well for me in generating leads to create in-theater advertising. However, since the pandemic hit and movie theater attendance has dropped and many of the production companies have gone to streaming their movies, this isn't so much a hot seller for me. The next one that I created was a book called The 7 Lies Repeatedly Told About Undone Dental Treatment in Your Practice. And this really was to be quite honest, a hardcore sales letter driving on how dental practices have undone treatment or unscheduled treatment, meaning treatment that they had presented a treatment case to a patient, though the patient didn't move forward with treatment. And this was primarily about how to resurrect what Dan Kennedy calls a appointment no sale or a presentation no sale into actual treatment. Then in May 2021, our Gold Crown Mastermind group got together and we wrote Secrets of Successful Marketers, the 14 Principles of Growth and Personal Freedom. And each of the mastermind members created a chapter for this book. This book is really the one that I want to focus on around the strategy that I'm going to show you. But before I get to that, I'll show you another book that we did with one of my private clients and also a mastermind member, Paul Samico, who is an attorney in the Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. This book is a product of the work I was doing for Paul in interviewing his clients, past clients in injury law that he had successful cases against. And what we did is each chapter became that client's story, literally lifted from the interview I did with them. The important thing that I want to point out about this particular book is two things. Is number one, when I suggested the idea to Paul, he took fast action on it. And literally within us talking about it and him implementing this was probably about 3 weeks. This book was published. That's not the important thing I want to point out here. Since publishing this book, which was titled You Spoke, I Listened, Paul has since smartly taken this book and had it translated into Spanish, because he serves a large Spanish population in his area. The book he has taken, I think he said he published about 1,500 of these books in Spanish, changed the cover, cover's the same, in Spanish, but it is in green to decipher between the English and Spanish version just in color. He has taken and given this book away. Key point. He's given this book away. And when I talked with Paul about a week and a half ago, he said in just giving away maybe a couple hundred copies of this, he has gained 6 new personal injury law cases. So there's where I want to focus on today, is the use of books, specifically in giving them away in order to put you in front of your prospective clients in order to drive them back. Because in publishing a book, you become an author and an expert. So with that, I want to focus on the strategy I used with this book. And all of the authors in this book have their copies. This is how I used it for myself in my own business. I took the strategy that we use, or I use, for newsletters, and that strategy is very simple. Send it every month. The printed one shows up every month. It shows up in digital form to a much larger audience. However, it goes out in physical form to a select group on my list in physical form. Just send it out every month. Write it, send it out. Well, I took that strategy and I thought, well, you know, I have this book. What can I do with this? I took my list, sat down with my list, and I went through and I looked at the past clients that I had on the list who hadn't possibly done any work with in the last year or 2 years. I took the top 20% of those names. So I segmented out the list, people I had done work with that were good clients who had done repeated work over the last 2 years, or within the last 2 years, though hadn't done anything recently. And I formulated a list from those. It was probably 50 or 75 on the list. With that, the intent was I wanted to send them the book. Now, I wasn't selling anything, saying, hey, come back and we'll do video. I wasn't selling anything. It was just a matter of, hey, here's a new book that I published along with 13 other mastermind members and a few mentors. The strategy was very simple. I was simply going to send the book to the 75 clients to just let them know I was still around, let them see what I've been up to, and there's value in this book. But I didn't want to send just the book as a book by itself, because these books show up to people every day from Amazon. So I wanted to have more impact. And I had just finished doing some work with a friend and client, Dr. David Phelps. And Dr. Phelps had just published a book that he had done in conjunction with Dan Kennedy that was called Own Your Freedom. And when I received a copy of the book, it came in this beautiful box. And I will be quite honest with you, I was impressed, and I decided that I was going to borrow the concept of this box that Dr. Phelps had done and model it. So what I did is I created my own box, not as large, but I created my own box. Same brand, same look, same design as the book itself, but it has a variety of banners. Unlike Dr. Phelps's, I was using mine more for a bit of impact and advertising and marketing. But inside the book, or inside the box, I created more bullet points and copy so that it was an advertising piece unto itself. Inside there, I included a black envelope with a gold foil, and inside there was a card, again, same design, and on the back was a brief letter from me, just introducing about what the book is, how the book came to be, who the book was written by, and just what it's about. Inside the box was then the book. I included with it a bookmark, and the bookmark was designed so that it would stick out above the book, and then the books would be signed to the people I was sending them to. I was only sending 75. And then inside the book was a little filler, but again, more copy and information, pictures of me, Pete Lillo, and Dan Kennedy, who are authors in the book, and sent that out. Just simply sent it. No sales pitch, no sales letter. And from that strategy, or that effort, I would say, what it ultimately did is it generated for me, it reactivated 2 clients, and those 2 clients, on top of being reactivated, referred 3 others. So from the 75 that I sent out, it reactivated 2 and generated 3 new clients. To date, the total return on sending this package out has been about $190,000, just simply by creating it, packaging it, and sending it out. So books are very powerful. Books are a reason to communicate with people that you've done business with, to stay in front of them. If you don't have a book, you need a book. Now here's the downside. Here's the downside. So all of these books that I have done, The Secrets, The 7 Lies, The Hiding in Plain Sight, and The Secret Weapon book, these are all business books. These all have specific intentions. They have specific audiences, general business, and then dentistry specific. So I thought, how could I create a book that could be for everybody? So utilizing this strategy of just getting in front of people and have something of value that is for the general, whoever. No particular reason, driving nothing. And then my friend Mike Capuzzi, in the end of 2022, he published a book called I Love America. And I Love America is 13 military veterans sharing their ideas for a strong nation. And Pete Lillo and I got together and got to thinking about this, and we got in touch with Mike and said, hey, we would love to do an I Love America version for entrepreneurs and fill it with entrepreneurs who love America and love free enterprise, capitalism, and talk about the value that America provides to us in an economic system. And what we're doing is we're actually going to publish the 2nd edition of I Love America. Actually, Mike's going to publish it for us. So I'm going to use this book as a general giveaway. So anybody can receive this, and there's nothing behind it. It's a value-based book. It's a what I believe. Now, understand that this is not going to be a political lines book. This is not going to be a political statement book. This is not going to be an advocacy. This is just a matter of what America provides to we entrepreneurs and free enterprise and the economic system that we get to enjoy in the United States. So Pete and I are doing this. We have several other mastermind members who have already committed to contributing a chapter for this. So I want to make an offer to you all. If you don't have a book, then this is a way for you to have a book, create a book that you have only one chapter in, but you're part of. And the books will be created for you. Now, this book will be published nationally via national distribution channels, and it'll have Mike's name on it, but we all will be inside of it as the authors. And you have the opportunity to talk about what you do, and you'll be able to promote yourself in order to drive people back to you. But this is not a book about pitching and selling. This is a book about belief and value. This really, for me, is going to be a legacy piece. This is going to be something that I will be able to give away to anybody and say, here, I think this would be of value. I think you'll enjoy reading this. Unlike these books, which are business driven, these are value and more morality and ethics and belief in I Love America, and that will be the title. So we're looking for several people. We have a number of the chapters already taken. There will only be 13 chapters in this book on our version. The reason for 13 chapters, I Love America, it represents the 13 original colonies of the United States. There are about half the chapters available right now, and if you're interested in getting in this book, then go to the website that's on the screen right now and register yourself to get a seat or get a space in this book. It will require simply a $100 seat deposit, which is completely refundable if you decide that you don't want to do it. But at this point, we're looking for to fill the 13 chapters. We have about 6 of them available. So if you would like one and be able to do the same thing with it that I'm going to do, that Pete's going to do, is be able to give it away, have a gift to be in front of people. And books do not get thrown away. If you're interested in getting involved, the total investment will be $1,350 total. We'll give you all of the guidance on how to write your chapter and what you can write about. We'll give you editing on that. Once you get it, we'll edit it, we'll proofread it, we'll get it all right, and then we'll do all the publishing. Actually, Mike is going to do all the publishing and the national distribution. But you will get your copies with your name and your bio on the back, much as we did with the Secrets of Successful Marketers book. So at this point, go to the website that you see on your screen. If you're interested, it's simply a $100 seat deposit that secures your place in this book. I am doing it first come, first serve, which means the quicker you get yours in, the sooner in the chapters you are, as opposed to being towards the back of the book. So if you'd like to take part in this, all of the publishing is taken care of for you. Then I go to the website right now and secure your position or your chapter in this book. If you have any questions about when it's going to be published, we're actually going to release this on July 4th, 2023. Ironically, Independence Day in the United States. And for those friends that may be getting this that are not in the United States, I understand this is not for you. This is for folks or businesses that we have in the United States. However, if you're not doing a book outside of the United States, you need to be doing one. So there's a little editorial there. If you have any questions, email me at ron@rjmediamagic.com, and I'll follow up with you and answer any questions that you have. But at this point, I suggest and recommend that you secure your chapter in this book